I'm going to give you a little behind the scenes look at creating the world for our March short film. If it fits! Hey everyone, I'm Chris Fitz. We filmed our March short film last week. Don't worry, we are very safe and there will be no more filming in the foreseeable future. We are all social distancing ourselves. The short is called The Revitalization of Steve 4.2 and it was written and directed by Mr. Gregory Johnson. The story takes place in the not so distant future in a world where everyone is always plugged in. I'm going to be doing a minor buttload of visual effects for this one, so pray for my computer, but I am also acting as the cinematographer, which is great. It's rare that I get to focus all my attention on just the shots that I'm getting. I'm usually running around thinking about a million different things. So it was really nice this time around to just focus all of my energy on trying to get the best shots that we possibly could, or the best shots that convey what we were trying to get across with lighting and camera movement. I didn't just want good shots. Anyway, we wanted to create three very distinct worlds for this film: the world that they live in, the world that they see, and then the outside world. The world that they see is going to be where all of the visual effects come into play, and so hopefully I can talk a little bit about that next week. Hopefully I can get a lot of it done by next week. This week I want to talk a little bit about what we did to differentiate, because we want to draw a really stark contrast between the world that they live in and the outside world. So we wanted the world that they live in to be stark and drab, clean, but also really sterile and kind of devoid of any kind of real personality. Greg had a vision that we could use his basement, so on Saturday we went down there, cleared out all the furniture, and just messed around with what kind of look we thought we could get. We loved the symmetry that we got from having this door directly in the center of the space that they could come in and out of. We thought it made the world feel very precise. And so we decided that we would only shoot wide from this direction. We also didn't want to see the stairs because we wanted to feel like it was more integrated into their life, a real part of their life, rather than this kind of underground place that they would go to. We tried out a bunch of different setups, but then we finally hit on this. Just one key light, a $10 clamp light from Home Depot that I'm actually using right there for a little bit of fill over here, shooting straight up at the ceiling with all three of our actors standing around it. And then the only other light that we used was from the cell phones. And then a simple thing that I do when I'm shooting someone on a cell phone and I really want that light from the cell phone to read on camera, because I find that usually the light from the screen generally isn't enough. So I have the actor flip their phone around and then put their flashlight on full brightness. Super simple, it's practical, you don't need an extra small LED light. You avoid logos and pop sockets and cases and things like that. I use that trick all the time and I think it's really effective. Anyway, we love the idea of this upward light and how it kind of mimics that light that you get when you're kind of zombified on your phone. The only thing we debated for a while was the source of this light. And it's science fiction, right? So you have a little bit of leeway with things like that, but still you need some sort of rationale for the source of your light, even if it's just made up for the context of the world of the film. And we came up with something that we both liked. I'm not going to tell you what it is because you don't need to know. And I'd rather have people see it, watch it, and see if it makes sense for them without kind of knowing what our intention of it was. Let you come to your own conclusions. And then we moved into the outside world, and there's really not that much to say other than we used the sun. Of course, we used a little bounce, we used a little diffusion, and then this one shot right here. There's a shadow box over to the left because it was our last shot of the day and we were losing a lot of light and we just needed a little bit of something else. Everything outside was shot handheld versus the basement, which was all locked off. And I shot into the sun as much as I could because I really wanted the sun to be a presence, almost a character in and of itself in this world that he's experiencing, not for the first time, but in a long time. Greg is starting the edit right now. I'm starting to work on the assets that will make up the visual digital world that they see. And hopefully I can break down a little bit of how I do that next week. This is what I'm going off of. This is an effect I did a long time ago, and I think this will have a lot of the same elements as that. And I am really excited about this one. I think, again, this one is just a little bit unlike anything that we have done so far this year. There's practically no dialogue, and a lot of the storytelling is going to be dependent on the performances, the visuals, and the sound. Just presenting new challenges and new opportunities to learn things. Thank you for watching. Go subscribe to the channel. Go listen to the podcast, People Who Make Stuff Podcast, where I sat down and talked to Stephen Brandt, the guy who stars in the revitalization of Steve 4.2. We had a great conversation about the highs and lows of a career in acting, and I will see you next week.